So I have all my props handy is what I was saying, but you may or may not be using all of them. I just like to have them handy if I own them because I never know what I might feel like using in any particular day. But we're going to start seated, so it's up to you if you want to be seated on the mat or in a chair. But I'm planning to bring us up to standing for quite a bit of the practice today. So for your centering, you may like to sit up on a couple of blankets to bring the hips above the knees if you're taking your centering on the floor, or you're welcome to sit up in your chair if that's more comfortable to you. For anyone who is new to joining me, my name is Alicia. My pronouns are she and her. I'm practicing with you today on the native lands of the Ktunaxa, the Spokane, and the Shuswap tribes, now known as Spokane, Washington. So let's go ahead and get situated, whether you're on the floor or in your chair. You might like to take the skin out and back from each hip. That can make your sitting bones, your part of your base, a little more easy to feel. If you're sitting in the chair, let your feet be parallel, flat on the floor, knees resting above the ankles. And whether you're on the floor or in the chair, let's feel into the base of our sitting bones. You can rock the pelvis forward and back. Shift the weight side to side, get a feel for the base, and then let your spine lengthen up from there, all the way through the top of the head. Let's roll the shoulders forward, up towards the ears, and then back and down, letting the shoulders soften. And you might even try a light tuck of the chin towards the throat, just enough to give some length to the back of the neck. I will invite the bell here in a moment to drop us into our centering. From there, we will come to standing and do several standing movements. And then you have the option to return to the mat if you'd like to take your shavasana, your relaxation and integration time on the mat. And you're also welcome to do that in the chair if that's more comfortable for you. So always remembering this is your practice. Anything that I offer are simply invitations. So one of your first options here is, do you want the eyes open or closed? Or maybe you just simply soften the gaze down. And I'll invite the bell to drop us in. As you start to settle in, let's take a moment of gratitude for the roots of this practice, which originated thousands of years ago in ancient India and have been passed down from teacher to student. Appreciation for the indigenous stewards of the land where you're practicing. And some gratitude for ourselves and each other. We've chosen to make it back to our mat or our chair today. Let's start to connect with our natural breath. There's no need to control it. Just notice that it's there. And you might imagine each inhale is directing your awareness inward. So each inhale takes that awareness deeper inward. And each exhale can be a releasing, a letting go. And then let's shift that internal awareness into our base. Wherever you're in contact with something beneath you. Tap into the sensations of grounding and rootedness through your base. And then you might allow each inhale to be lifting and lengthening from that base. And each exhale, a softening. And I'd like to invite in the intention for today. May I be flexible through change. And what might that mean for you? As you feel ready, you can open the eyes if they were closed, or lift the gaze. Let's take some time to reorient to our space. Maybe as you're reorienting to the space, you take this opportunity to invite some movement into the body. If you're sitting on the floor cross-legged, you can reverse the cross of the legs. And notice the simple shapes, textures, and colors around you. You might look close into the body, notice where you are in the space, what area you're occupying. And if you're not already moving through the torso, let's start to rotate the torso around at the hips. And start to link the breath and the movement together, letting the breath be the guide. You might try inhaling as you come back and exhaling as you come forward. And as you come through center, let's reverse and go the opposite direction. So let the base root you down, and the torso, you might feel some lengthening and extending. Once you feel even both ways, we'll meet back at center. So you're still fine if you're seated in your chair or seated on the floor. We'll just do a couple of spinal movements here before we make our way to standing. So next inhale, tip the pelvis forward. We're arching the back so the chest and belly are expanding forward, broadening across the chest, shoulders pressing back and down. The chin might come up slightly. On the exhale, rock the pelvis back. Now we're rounding the back, pressing out through the shoulder blades and tucking the chin. Inhale, arching forward, opening forward. Exhale, rounding back. Find your own pace. Let your breath guide you. It can set the pace. You might slide the hands towards the hip creases to help open the chest on the inhale, and slide the fingertips towards the knees as you press out through the rounded back. You're also welcome to try a different arm movement if you'd like. You can expand the arms out and back on the inhale and wrap around for a little hug on the exhale. Wherever you're at, let's do one more round. And then as you feel ready, let's make our way to standing. So you have a lot of props available, hopefully. Maybe you want to use your chair or your blocks to help you come to standing. So feel free to do that as it feels right. You can move most of your props off to the side. And I'm going to use a chair as a prop for my standing today. You're also welcome to use blocks. That will make some of your bending poses a little bit deeper, so that's up to you what you're feeling like today. Let's let the body flow side to side here. So just letting the arms flop. Let your outer foot and knee come along for the ride, coming up onto the outside toes. Maybe you sigh out a couple of exhales. And start to slow down the movement. And then eventually, let's come back to find our feet parallel and as close together as is comfortable. Make space for the inner thighs. Let's feel the triangle of support under each foot, points under the ball of the big toe, ball of the pinky toe, center of the heel. Let your spine lengthen up tall, your shoulders soften down. Let's let the arms dangle at the sides. We'll inhale here in center. Exhale, let's lean towards the left. So let the left fingertips start to creep down the leg. Inhale, center. Exhale, right fingertips come down the leg. Inhale, center. So find your own pace. You're welcome to keep the arms hugged in at the side. Option to take the fingertips to the shoulders. And also option to extend the top arm. So make this your own. What feels good for you today? Let's finish up with one more to each side or until you feel even. And let's give the arms a shake out. Now let's come to face the chair. If you're using a chair as your prop, if you're not, you're welcome to use your blocks. And your chair can be either facing you with the seat or the back of the chair facing you. If the back of the chair is facing you, that will be a little bit less deep, and the chair seat will be a little bit more deep. So I'm going to start with the back of my chair facing me. So let's stand behind the chair, find your Tadasana, your mountain pose, the triangles of support under the feet. Let's inhale, sweep the arms forward and up. And then exhale, hinging forward, taking your hands either to the chair or the blocks. And then exhale, folding forward, hinging from the hips. Let's inhale, press through the feet. And then take a large step back with the left foot. So if you're on the blocks, you're a lot lower. And depending on what height of the chair, you're either high or medium. Let's bend into the right knee. If the right knee is jutting out past the right ankle and foot, take your stance a bit wider front to back. And then root down through both feet, press through the feet to come on up. Hands can be at the hips or at the heart or overhead, sinking into that right knee. Find a point on the floor a few feet in front of you to focus your gaze on to help with balance. Let's take a breath here. Let's bring the hands back to the hips if they're not there already. And let's plant the left heel down. Turn the left toes out. Bend back into the right knee. Bring the arms out about shoulder height, palms facing down. Gaze is coming out over the right fingertips. Let's inhale, straighten the right leg, bring the arms up. Exhale, bend back into the right knee. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Let's do two more. Let's take the right arm, bend at the elbow, take the right forearm to the right thigh, maybe extending that left arm out alongside the left ear. Breath here. Windmill those left fingertips around, come back up to your warrior two. Reach the right fingertips forward and up. Left hand can come along the left thigh. Gaze wherever's comfortable. Take a breath here. Come back through your warrior two. Straighten the right leg. Turn the left toes forward and then take one or as many steps as you need to bring the left foot back to meet the right. Let's inhale the arms up and exhale the palms together through heart center. Let's give the legs a shake out. And let's move right to the other side. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, hinging forward from the hips. Hands to the chair back, the chair seat, or to blocks. Press into the feet. Come up high enough that you can take a large step back with the right foot. Bending into the left knee. Root down through both feet. Find your balance. And then press your way up. Hands can come to hips. Hands might be at the hips, at the heart, or overhead, sinking into that bent left knee. Let's drop the right heel, turn the right toes out, bringing the arms out about shoulder height, palms facing down. Inhale, straighten the left knee, arms up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Let's do two more. And then bending back into that left knee, bend the left arm, left forearm comes to left thigh. If you're using the chair, maybe the left hand comes to the seat of the chair. Option to bring the right arm alongside the head. Take a full breath here. Reaching the right fingertips, windmill them around. Come back up to your warrior two. Reach the left fingertips forward, up and over. Right hand is coming to the right thigh. Full breath here. Come back through your warrior two. Hands to hips. Rotate the right foot so the toes are facing forward. Take as many steps as you need to bring the right foot back to meet the left. Bend the knees, press through the feet to come on up. And hands together through heart center. All right, let's give everything a shake out. We built a lot of heat in a short period of time with this practice. And let's invite in our original intention again to be flexible through change. Check in with how you're feeling. And as you feel ready, we're going to make our way into our relaxation. So take your relaxation, your shavasana, any way that's going to feel comfortable for you today. I'm going to opt for mine to be on the floor with a folded blanket as a pillow. And I'm going to take the backs of my legs up onto the chair. So use all the props you have handy. You might take your bolster under the back of the knees if you like that. Extra blanket, if you're not using it, could come onto your body for a little extra weight and warmth. If you're taking your relaxation in the chair, maybe you bring a blanket behind the neck to support the neck, a pillow behind your back. Just get creative. Option to close the eyes or soften the gaze. Let your breath find its own rhythm here. Feel where you're in contact with the floor or the chair, or any props you're using. Each inhale is taking your awareness inward, and each exhale is the releasing, the letting go. Taking your time, you can start to bring some small movements back into the body and working your way in towards larger movements. Eventually making your way onto one side, taking at least one full breath there. Before pressing yourself back up to a seated position. If you'd like to join me to close, you can take one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. This closing is from my teacher, Anna Jelly of Curvy Yoga. May I greet my body with gentleness. May I soften when life invites me to harden. May I listen to my intuition with wisdom and trust it with ease. And may I appreciate my body a little more in this moment, just as it is. And then we can bring the hands together in front of the heart. Let's take one breath together. We'll inhale and exhale. Thank you so much for choosing to share your time and your practice with me today.